Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning and share some more stuff about how we disrupt the IT market in Poland and how we're trying to do it in Hungary. But before we begin, I believe you're already awake, but let me just ask one question. Who is enjoying recruiTECH? Please raise your hand. No, I mean, come on. Like, Gabor will be really disappointed. Let me reiterate. Who is enjoying recruiTECH? Yeah. Okay. So before we go deeper into the numbers, let me just show you the landscape. We're talking about IT recruitment, and there's like 23 million developers in the world. And it's a growing number because the data shows that there's going to be 28 million by 2023. Obviously, there's no official register of the number of developers. These are just estimates, but they also say that a quarter of it, 25%, which is like 5.5 million, live in the European Union. What is also special about this number, about this market, is that 90% of the recruiters say it's an employees market. And probably all of you who work in the IT recruitment can confirm this number. And to me, this is actually shockingly low because it should be around 99 or 100%. These 10% probably didn't really know the market well. And why is it like the employees market? It's just enough to look at the numbers that there's around like 500,000, and once the number was even up to 900,000 missing IT employees in the European Union. These are the numbers by the European Commission. Obviously, it's also an estimate because you would actually need to bring these developers on a train to the market, deploy them, and then actually check whether companies would employ them or not. So we are actually not sure, but it's a huge number. And looking at our countries, in Hungary, the number is around 30–40%. And they estimate there's around like 85,000 developers in Hungary. So it's pretty much like 35 to 50% of the market is still missing. In Poland, the number is around 50–60,000 out of 250,000, which would be like 25%. So there's a huge gap. And what it actually means for companies, if you want to hire like an IT guy, what it means is you're actually bringing on a guy from another company. The guy probably won't move because you offer him like 3% more salary, so you're going to offer like 10% more salary. What it means at the other company, there's a gap of one guy missing, so they need to bring on another guy from another company. And in the end, what it means, the market gap is still the same. Two companies have exactly the same number of employees, but just two guys earn 10% more. And which is, I'm also happy that I'm like a software engineer, because that's the reality we're living in right now. And when you look at the status of the candidates and how active they are on the market, it's like only 15%. These are data from 2019. Only 15% are active. 26% are totally uninterested. So whatever you kind of bring to their nose and show them they are totally uninterested, they are happy, they will never change their jobs. And like 59% are inactive, but they say they might consider an opportunity. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, so we can approach these people, but surprise, surprise, the person sitting next to you on the left and on the right and in front of you in this room actually think the same. So they try to approach these people, and we actually end up with the number of like 11 offers on average, like an IT guy gets like yearly. So excluding Christmas, that's one offer a month. That's really like hilarious. And that really brings us to the conclusion that the developers are prima donnas of the 21st century. And I'm a developer myself, so I don't want to offend anyone. I'm talking about myself also. But recently, and this is a real story, that a guy left the company after 4 hours on the first day because the fruit in the kitchen were not fresh. So that's pretty much the market we are living in right now. And knowing all of this, the shortage, the prima donnas, the salaries, the gap, and all of this, do you really want to approach these people with such an ad? Like an interesting multi-international whatever company is looking for a talented specialist for an international project in a dynamic team, flexible hours, whatever. And I'm reading it, I'm thinking like, are you really serious? I'm inactive. I'm in the 85% of people that are inactive. And I get zero information about the job. It's like, imagine you're buying a car and you're a buyer, I'm a seller, I'm saying, okay, the car drives great. Yesterday I drove it, I turned left and it worked. The car is red and the interior is excellent. It's like an international brand. And you ask me about the price, and I'm like, you know what? It's a competitive price. It's a market price. So like, who wants to buy the car? There's always one guy. Okay, anyway. So how are you trying to approach the candidates? You are spamming them on LinkedIn. I know that it works to some extent, but developers see it as spam. It's like too much. It's just too many messages. And do you really think you can convince developers to work for you because you have a football table or like a PlayStation? I mean, come on, it's the 21st century. Everyone has it. So I don't even care where the PlayStation is. So now I want to show you what developers really want. And this is like an exclusive survey for recruiTECH. We run a lot of surveys. This is a couple of thousand developers run in February 2020. 91% of them expect salaries in the advertisement. It's like 91%. So thinking about the 85% who are inactive, they are in that group. They really want you to show them the salary because otherwise they're uninterested. 97% rated excellent when they see the salary in the advertisement. So out of this group, if you publish a salary in an advertisement, 97% will say it's excellent, it's great, they want to see it. It just kind of motivates them. What is more, looking at the recruiter side, 89% recruiters claim publishing salaries in the ad simplifies hiring. So, imagine this. You have a guy, you're talking to him, taking the first recruitment stage, second recruitment stage. Then you pull in your recruiter, like your IT developers. They want to verify technically if the guy is good. It's taking hours. And eventually you arrive at the decision that, I want to hire the guy. And boom, you have a mismatch at the salary because you didn't check it. And it costs you around like from 1,000 to 3,000 euro on a position, like if you fail the recruitment process because of the mismatch, like, at the end of the recruitment process. So it really simplifies the hiring. What is more, like 35% candidates will not apply without salaries in the advertisement. So this is data from Poland, where we actually at Fluff jobs, where we transformed the market. It actually doesn't make sense to publish IT ads without salaries because like most companies do it, and most of the cool ones definitely do it. So there is a group of candidates who will never apply again without publishing salaries in the ad because they don't want to waste their time. And finally, we arrive at the number of 30% of candidates who simply engage more. So thinking about like the 85% of inactive candidates, now we're talking about 35% who will not apply if there's no salary. So if there is salary, they will apply. And on the top of it, another 30% will engage more. They will be more animated when they see the ad. So they will check it. They will check your company website. They will basically get interested. Now, we are arriving at the slide where we're discussing why companies actually do not publish salaries. And one of them is the inequalities in the salaries, because people pretty often say, and why I'm saying this actually, because at Fluff jobs, we require to publish the salaries. And it's like a range from X to 2X. So it doesn't have to be a specific number. It's like a wide range that actually can span all of your developers. And the companies are in that position. And if a company tells me like, okay, I have two people working in the same pretty similar position and there's a big difference in the salary. So I'm asking like, but do you really want to be in that place? Because if these people go and have a beer together, it's pretty much they will find out. And what will happen? What do you think will happen in the market we're living in right now when this happens? You don't want to be in that position anyway. And sorry, like if you can't really span all your developers in one position with X to 2X, I think you're doing something wrong. Unattractiveness, they say, oh, our salaries are so unattractive, so people will not work for us. But that's not really true because, developers, obviously they want to see the salary, but they are not saying it's the most important factor while changing a job. If they see interesting technology, if they see interesting project, company, culture, whatever, they can change job anyway. So I'm not really buying it. And the best one is attractiveness. So like, we can't really publish for IT because other departments of the company will see how attractive the salaries are. But I mean, do you really think they can't find out right now? Like every newspaper, like every month is writing about it. So no one is really blocking these people from applying to these positions. So I really encourage you to take no shortcuts and really move with the time, not to really stay in the dead end and ending up with no candidates because the employees market, especially in the IT, is moving really fast. So these are the other expectations that the developers have. Apart from salary, 91%, they want to see the employment type, whether it's like B2B or like an employment contract. They want to see the daily tasks on the job, what they will do. Not only that you're like a multi-international, super cool company, they also want to see like, the technological requirements, so the technology specifically, work methodology, what am I going to use, whether I'm going to use a MacBook or like a Windows computer, whatever. It really, they are prima donnas. They care about these things. And now I want to show you like quickly like what we did at No Fluff Jobs, because our goal is actually to address all these needs. The ad was tailored to fulfill the requirements of the IT market. So we are not really requiring all this information because we think they are cool. We actually run surveys, we know the market, we feel the candidates, and we want them to engage more, like the 85% of inactive CVs, we want them to engage, like candidates. So you can see here that, you have requirements, you have work methodology, you have daily tasks on the job. On the right side, you have salary. There's a lot of information, no free text, really very, very little free text, and a lot of checkboxes, a lot of hashtags, and all these things that they can also compare. So they compare with one another, like they can run to ads next to one another and see, okay, this company offers this, but the other company offers this. And we see that this really works miracles in terms of the engagement of the inactive candidates. So you don't have to do it with No Fluff Jobs, obviously, but I'm just encouraging you to move with time. And by the way, this is a shameless plug. For every recruiTECH participant, we have an extra discount. So talk to me and you can try out No Fluff Jobs. Okay, so key takeaways. It's an employees market. It's a very tough market. There is a huge gap. So we are not miracle workers, none of you either. We can't really, multiply the people. We need to bring them from someone. So 85% of candidates are passive. It's not they're going to check your careers website. They don't care about your careers website. You need to show them more. You need to kind of engage more. You need to put more information so that they really start interacting and working with your job advertisements. Candidates expect hard data, specifically salary, not only because salary is the most important part, because they really want to see it and they don't want you to waste their time. And if you show salaries, you're going to get from 35 to 65% more CVs looking at the surveys that I was showing to you. Thank you very much.
Great presentation.